All right. Come on in. 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 Let's talk about it. Happy Sunday to everybody, man. How's everybody doing, man? We want to talk about the spring, the finale, I guess, if you want to call it that. The finale, the spring finale that took place yesterday. A lot of positive things, a lot of things that of course we're gonna have to continue to try to sharpen our tools up a little bit. And before the fall, thank God we still have the fall practice to be able to, sharpen our tools up. But overall, we'll talk about this, man. I think. What's up, big dog? How you doing? Overall, I think that USC, the common theme continues to take place as far as the D line. Let me say it like that. That D line is legit. There appears to be no no weak spots with that D line. Is it one of the best D lines in the country? We will see. But as far as the impact of the defensive line, look, everything that I'm hearing, I got several people that sent me a lot of information. I wasn't there. I was actually invited, but I wasn't there. And we got a couple of things that we've heard as far as the quarterback play. We heard a little bit about some receiver play. A lot of the starters too, though, like Jacoby Lane, a couple guys. Those guys were sitting. I think they had a couple. I heard Jacoby Lane actually caught one crazy pass, but a lot of those guys kind of set back a little bit, and some of those other guys got work. But from what I'm told too, it wasn't actually like a scrimmage like you would normally see. They had a lot of 7-on-7 type stuff, and so there was a lot of things that took place, man. So we'll talk about that. We're gonna have a call-in show. I'm gonna put the link here in a minute, but we'll just kind of go over a couple things, and we're gonna ask because I got Keith Biggers coming on with me in just a few minutes, and we're gonna go over some stuff. As you guys know, Keith was actually on the field for the practice. The alumni came back last weekend, and everything, some of the things that he said in reference to the quarterback play, it was spot on. I mean, when I'm saying spot on, it was spot on. So we'll talk about that. You got 1, 2, and 3, a clear 1, 2, and 3 at the quarterback position, from what I'm told. So let's jump real quick. And I was trying to wait for Keith to get on, but I think he said he's going to charge his phone. But let's get into some quarterback play real quick, because you guys know that I think when you look at the spring, that's going to be the talk of everything. Everybody wants to know how the quarterback play is going to turn out. How is it going to pan out? Is there going to be a real quarterback battle? Is there a clear-cut number one? I think a lot of people really want to know that. And from my understanding, some of the things that I heard that took place on Saturday, there is a clear-cut number one. So look, we told you this too. We told you that from the gap from college to high school, it's a big difference. That doesn't mean that we got a bad quarterback. I think Longstreet is a phenomenal quarterback. I think he's going to be a Heisman contender one day. He has that type of skill set. He has that type of pedigree. And but however, there is a learning curve. And so when you look at it from the quarterback play right now, you could even argue that Sam Hewitt even has a little bit more experience, just being that he's been in the college game for a little bit of time. But I think Longstreet is going to be a phenomenal quarterback. Has all, and I will say this, the same thing I said about Jaden Mayava last year. I would like to see Hassan Longstreet have some packages for him so that he's able to move and groove. But opening up yesterday, this is some of the information I got as it relates to let me greet some of these people real quick. Brian, what's going on, my man? How you doing? How's everything going, man? Robert, how you doing, man? What's the word? Marvin, how you doing? Born again, all the way out in Louisiana. What's the word? Zip, what's the word, my man? Hey, bro, Andrew, how you doing, man? Hey, it's all good, man. Hey, so one of the things that opening up yesterday, this is what I got from Jaden Mayava. He had a couple of picks, but from my understanding, the way those picks were, it was like more so a 7-on-7 type situation, and it was kind of like a hurry up offense type of thing. So rightfully so, but when he opened up though, I heard he opened up kind of blazing. It was a 75-yard a 72-yard bomb, a 56-yard bomb. He threw a 50-yard bomb, a 77-yard bomb, and a 73-yard bomb. Those are some of the things that we saw yesterday from Jaden Mayava. And I think, man, that, I think he's really picking up, and I stated this too. I said, look, if Jaden Mayava could pick up where he left off in the Texas A&M game, I think we're going to have a heck of a quarterback. I really believe that with all my heart. And that was some of the things I think that we saw yesterday. I didn't see it, but those who were there saw it. And I think Jaden Mayava is going to be able to move and groove. So you guys give me the comments. I'm gonna wait for Keith to come on for a little bit before we go further into this. But from my understanding, I did hear that Hassan Longstreet did pretty decent. However, all right, yeah, that. Okay, somebody. Okay, he told me I got the 40-yard bomb. Yeah. Hey, so from my understanding, Hassan Longstreet did a pretty decent job, but it's still, you got to get very familiar with the offense and get used to running thing. And like I said, you got these big guys coming off the edge. It's a different ball game, man. From high school to college, the speed of the game is so much different. So I'm gonna open this thing up in just a minute. I'm trying to wait for Keith to come on. And we could kind of go ahead and discuss this, but it's right on target with what Keith was saying from last week. Some of the things that we picked up and he said from last week. Let's see here. I just deleted my notes. So we will. So as far as the DB play, I did hear the nickelback spot. A lot of people were wondering about that. Is DJ Harvey going to be at the nickelback spot? Is Christian Pierce going to be the safety? And then maybe move Kamari Ramsey to the nickelback spot, because I think I heard where Kamari Ramsey was playing nickelback a little bit. However, there he is right there. However, what's up, Keith? However, Kamari did play safety, but Prophet Brown, from my understanding, started at the nickelback spot. DJ Harvey started at the cornerback spot, which I heard he looked incredible. I heard Braylon Conley and I heard Marcellus Williams look pretty decent. So, Big Keith, what's the word?
How's it going, man? Everything's good.
You were on the field last week, and everything that we talked about, everything you talked about on here, as far as the quarterback play, it was absolutely on point. You said you remember we talked about the quarterback, and you said it's going to take a little bit of time. You were on the end zone. I can't remember if Hassan Longstreet was running toward you but you were right there. But
I got a chance to watch both of them.
Right.
Where I was standing, and like I said, Longstreet, he shows promise. He needs to be developed. I wouldn't rush him in. I'm pretty sure that Lincoln Riley's not going to rush him in either. So Mayava looks really good. I'm not going to back off.
From my understanding, it was like that. He threw a couple of bombs yesterday, and he looked like, I think it's safe to say he really solidified himself and separated himself as far as being the number one. Like, I don't even think it's even the case no more who the number one is.
Well, all he needed was time to get used to the system.
Yeah.
And now he's familiar with the playbook. Everyone, I think they're gelling together.
Yeah.
So it should be a good turnout.
Yeah.
We're not promising the rainbows, but they're putting in the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Another surprise that was not a surprise to me, because last year, I think it was doing fall camp, one of the cornerbacks, I heard that, well, I saw it. Actually, USC football put the highlights up. Braylon Conley, man, I believe he's wearing number 22 right now. Braylon Conley, I heard yesterday, looks absolutely elite. Like, he looks like and he's a freshman coming out of the state of Texas. And, you know, he was one of those that had promise, very underrated guys. And we always said that, look, if you getting recruited by Georgia, if you get recruited by all these schools, you got the talent. So their evaluation of him was clearly legit. And from my understanding, he looked elite yesterday. What's your thoughts on Braylon Conley?
There was some explosiveness when I saw, you know, them last week. And I'm not going to lie, you know, the running game is going to be very well improved.
Yeah.
It's just that the defense was keeping him out the end zone for that particular moment.
Yeah. Conley, man, from my understanding, he was getting his ball on. He looked elite. Hey, thank you, Christian, for the super chat. He says, "What's up, my brother?" And what's up, OG? So Conley looked elite. The defensive line still imposed their will like nobody's business. I even heard Carlon Jones bust through the line like something like just absolutely ridiculous. And he was the freshman. He was hurt last year. I had Braylon Conley and Carlon Jones on this show. Both of those guys I felt like phenomenal athletes, and they both are from the state of Texas. And I heard that he looked like he's got his bounce back step. Carlon Jones, defensive tackle, he's moving and grooving. So from the defensive front standpoint, now we got Carlon Jones. Now we got in play, we got Josh Jarrett. We have Keyshawn Silver, all of these guys. And let me say this. Right now, the team right now is set. The transfer portal, I believe, officially closed last week. The team right now is set. This is the team we're going to have going into all next year. So for all those who were there, and I'm comfortable to say that we're still good. A lot of people mentioned 10-2 or whatever, 9-3. I'm going to roll with 10-2. From what you see, Keith, what are your thoughts from you know, the team being set right now? And I'll talk about the offensive.
I'm going to take it like this. You know, I'm not even going to give you a number for a record. I'm going to take it one game at a time, like I told my boys back in '84. One game at a time, man. We taking them one at a time. Knock them down one at a time. Then we worry about what the record is when it's done. Right. Because these boys are ready, man. You know, they got a lot to prove after, you know, those disappointing losses that they get away.
Yeah.
That burns in the player, brother. I'm telling you, from an ex-player standpoint, that makes you even hungrier.
Absolutely. This is somebody Keith Watson says, I went to Mount Sac with Keith and Kevin Biggers.
Oh, yeah, that's my boy. What's up, Keith? He was the Bourbon Day.
Yeah, he absolutely knows you. Now,
yeah, he's my boy, man. That boy has some hands.
Yeah,
I mean, he has some hands.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, Miss Unfortunate, we won't even mention it, but you know, he was supposed to be a Trojan too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay.
He slipped through the net, man. He gave Timmy Ware some problems on that field, I promise you.
Yeah. Now, from the offensive line standpoint, I heard that of course Willie Wisher, he's a freshman out of the state of Washington. He was running with the twos, and I think it was Elijah Veracona. I think he was running with the twos as well. I did hear this. I heard there's a drop off between the ones and the twos on the offensive line.
Oh really?
Yeah. I heard the defensive line was kind of, you know, when the two group came in, I heard the defensive line was kind of imposing their will on them. And so now is that level of concern? I'm not gonna say that's level of concern. I think the fact that hopefully there be rotate. Hopefully, first of all, guys will stay healthy, and then of course development will still be in play as far as some of those guys that's in the rotation. But it sounded like there was a drop off. The first team seemed to be doing a little bit better from my understanding, and there was kind of like a significant drop off, man. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
Not much to say on that one, man. It's, you know, it's how football is, bro. You gotta take it as it goes. Somebody goes down, you just gotta step up. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nike Savior said, "Hey, Big J, what's up, my brother? I hope you read my message, bro. Big J, you're blessed, bro. Hey, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I need them Nike Dunks you got up on there too. Them the only ones I don't have. I need those right there, the Trojan ones. But I definitely appreciate you, family.
They come with a size 16.
You don't wear no 16, do you?
Yes, I do.
Kid, you were a 16?
Not only was I the fastest linebacker in my class, I also had the biggest feet on the team.
You were a 16.
I was a
Wow.
15 back then. My wife accidentally brought me some 16, and I never went back. So yeah, I'm a 16 now.
Well, I'm a 13, man. So I'm not, but dang, a 16. Wow. I'm gonna take some calls here in a minute, but I just want to, and you guys to give me your thoughts on how you're feeling. But overall, man, here's a summary from what I'm told right here. It says, so the summary, our first string held their own, but the defense kept coming on. Second string O-line still leaves a lot to desire. So we'll say that. And I think according to one report, Myalva threw into a lot of small windows. And so, look, he's still able to get some of those balls into some of those small windows. But there was a few mistakes. And like I said, it wasn't the 11-11. It was more so of the 7-on-7 type of format. They weren't really just scrimmaging as we know it. But there were some periods where they, so I'm sure you kind of knew that.
We call that skeleton.
Yeah.
Just
so from my understanding, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then and it says if the energy decided to the winner, the defense was 97-14 for offense. So we can kind of take what we want from that. It sounds like the defense, like I said, kind of imposed their will. I'm gonna open this up to a couple of calls. You guys can turn your camera off and just come on in. And if you guys want to express your feelings real quick, we'll take some of those calls. It's been a minute since we did it. I'll be lost in all types of sauce, work sauce and everything. We got about 400 people in here, but you guys heard just a brief summary of what this team is going to look like. I think this team is going to be a good team, and the positive about it, I think, is the fact that, and I think Lincoln Riley kind of alluded to it. This team looks really together. They look like they're enjoying themselves. But we still got development to go to take place.
Yeah, because the second string guys are happy being second string, so they're doing their best to push to be first string. And if the first string guy goes down, and it's that's their time to shine, and they better make the best of it because speaking from experience, when I went down, I'd be damned if I was going to sit there and watch my senior season on the sidelines. It's the way the game, man.
Absolutely. But the common theme that I'm getting from a lot of people, and look, the link is in the chat. You guys that want to come on, you guys to come on. If not, hey, I'm gonna hang it up.
Come on, man.
They coming in. They coming in. They come. Hey, but look, I think the common theme is that the defensive line is massive all across the board. I heard even the freshmen, man. Floyd Boucard is doing some things. Cash Jacobson, he's doing some things. A lot of these guys, man, are moving and grooving, man. And I think, man, when you look at that, like I said, we may have. And I talked to a source from Ohio State, and coincidentally, he was on our sideline for practice, and he was on Ohio State's practice sideline. Family, whatever. I'm not even gonna say how he got there, but anyway, he says our defensive line is probably bigger than Ohio State's right now. That's what he told me.
Right. You had the whole off season to undergo all your mistakes and know where you needed improvement, and you have guys of that nature willing to come here and play for us. It's going to be a blast when they get on that field, man. Sharks in the water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, raw dog. Man, I don't even know why I named that. Hey, Fido from Seattle. No.
Well, get a dog, man. What was that? That looked like a, that
Oh
looked like
man,
a
I don't even. I don't even. Hey, Daniel, what's up? Let me finish getting into some of these notes real quick while we wait on a couple of people here. Let's see here. Okay, and so the thought is that Jaden Maiava did look good. And now I want to ask you this question, Keith. Would it surprise you? Would it surprise you if, being that Hassan Longstreet is a freshman, that Sam Hewitt comes in and is the backup? Now, don't forget, he started his career. You know, he came from Utah. He played at Washington. Then he went to Sacramento State or whatever. And so you're talking about experience, 5-star guy.
Yeah,
that's
exactly it. You're talking about game experience versus I'm learning the system.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody who will stay in the pocket maybe 1 second longer and find that open man rather than taking off and perhaps maybe fumbling or being short of your goal or the mark.
Yeah, yeah.
Decision making and maturity. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what I would go with. I would go with his maturity and his experience.
No doubt. So for those
he's developing, and my personal experience, I wouldn't let him touch the field even in his freshman year. Maybe 2 minutes left in the game. I probably would not let him touch the field.
Well, I did feel like the same way I was asking for packages for Jaden Maiava last year. I just felt like, just because of his skill set, Hassan Longstreet's skill set, like he can get us that extra yard. I know Jaden Maiava could do the same thing, but he, for whatever reason, he didn't.
Uh-oh, we got a glitch. We're glitching.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That's okay. I felt like he could have did a little more, and maybe he will do it a little more, because I know he has that ability. But on the flip side, I would like to see Hassan Longstreet in do some packages. But it's not going to surprise me if we see the quarterback Sam Hewitt in there at all.
Is he already there, or is he transferring in?
No, he's there. He's actually on the field. You probably saw him and didn't I don't even know his number. You probably saw him when he was on the field the other day, but didn't recognize him. But he came in and he transferred in, and I think he's going to be that guy. I think he's going to be that guy that may end up being the second string. Now,
what number is he wearing?
I don't know what number he's wearing. I can't remember what number he's wearing. Is it 7? I don't know. Hassan Longstreet's number 4. Jaden Maiava's number 14. I want to say 7. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Now, one of the other highlights that I was talking to somebody about, which I heard he was absolutely going off. Now, like I said, the same way the receivers had to sit back a little bit, the starting receivers, I heard that there was, and I did a video about him long time ago when he first transferred in, King Miller. I wish I had his number. Those who are watching that was out there family-wise, that running back that, I heard that he was kind of going off. And primarily he was getting a lot of carries, a lot of work. He's a walk-on too, out of Calabasas, King Miller.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I heard he looked very, very good. And I'm going to tell you, though.
What number is he wearing?
I don't know King Miller's number. I don't know his number. But I heard he was doing good. If somebody could text me his number.
Man. Come on.
I don't have. He's a walk-on. And I think he must have redshirted last year, because I actually did a video prior to him coming. And to hear his name yesterday, that he was playing like that, man, it was good to hear, because, like, I remember talking to somebody about him. He was a big-time sleeper. And I think that he's going to be a guy that's going to be able to move and groove, man. So, King Miller was going off at the running back spot. And I think, man, look, that's what we want. We got some solidified running backs. Of course, we got Wayman Jordan out of Hutchinson College. We have Eli Sanders. Those guys are all, and then Brian Jackson, who's the big dog. All those guys, those are considered to be the big three. All those guys are considered to be the guys that's going to move and groove. But to have another one, a fourth one, being that Marion Peterson has transferred out, I think it speaks volumes.
Yes, phenomenal. I still can't believe he transferred out, but hey, it is what it is.
Marion Peterson, yeah. I mean, to me, it was expected. It was expected because all these running backs that we had like 5 running backs total, and I felt like, and I think he went. Did he go to Texas Tech? No. That's Quinn Joyner that went to Texas Tech, but I think he's visiting a couple other places. I saw him. I think it was Texas San Antonio, somewhere like that. Okay. But look, man, if you guys, I got the link in there. If you guys want to come in, come on in. If not, hey, we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it an early day. And look, let me go over this little summary real quick. We just wanted to give a brief summary real quick. No, I was going to do it. Actually, I was supposed to have Ramiro Eisen on tonight, but it was some conflict. It was some conflict with his time, and he couldn't make it on. Ramiro Eisen, the wide receiver out of the state of Maryland, Virginia, Maryland, DMV area. He was supposed to be on tonight, but we couldn't make it happen. And so I was going to save just a quick video, 10-minute video for tomorrow morning. However, Keith hit me up.
What number is he wearing?
He's not in yet.
He's not in yet.
No. He'll be in May. Yeah, he'll be in May. However, Keith hit me up and said, "Jay, you gonna go live?" And I said, you know, I can't let him down. Christian, what's the word?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
So what you think Christian about what you heard, man?
Man, Jay, 2 things can be true. And we had a conversation last year when we actually got to see the spring game. And we were debating on, was the defense that hands down that much better than the previous year, or was it offensive struggles? And we chalked it up to that the defense was, a lot better. And Deontay Lynn's defensive scheme was, much tougher. And that's why Miller Moss and the offense was struggling in the spring game. And so without being able to see the spring game, with just everything I'm hearing about how the defensive line and the defense is dominant, it's like, are we going to have 2 things true again this year, where the defense just took that extra step again and very good, and is it the same thing where we're going to see bad offensive line play? Like, without being able to see it, it's hard to tell. But it's like I'm kind of worried. I'm hoping this year that 2 things ain't true, and it's just that the defense has just took that extra level and way better, and that it's not that the defense took that step and way better, but the offense is gonna struggle again.
I totally get what you're saying. Now I can tell you this. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen multiple plays on Saturday, but I'm not at liberty to share. So
would you say the offense is okay? It's not just bad offense. It's just that the defense has took that next step and really that good.
Here's what I think. I think the offense. I think the defense, because they practice against each other. I think that they know their tendencies and they're familiar with their plays. So I think a little bit of that is involved. But I will say this: the defensive line look different, man. They look crazy. Like they are really,
even on paper, they was looking like they could be the best defensive line in the country this year. So if they're playing like that,
I don't think when you say that.
Hold on, Jay. From what I saw last week, I think this defensive line will complete their mission getting sacks that they didn't get last year.
Absolutely,
that's a good thing.
Absolutely,
and with that means the defense is again much better than it was a year before, especially if we can add that.
Oh, always room for improvement.
I just think, man, just the way they look when I saw them, and I'm gonna tell you, like the way Devin Tompkins look, he just does not look normal like anymore, man. He just no. I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm not. You guys know I was a Devin Tompkins, a big time Devin Tompkins guy, but he just looks like he's just massive, and he looked like he's playing like he's mad at somebody, like really mad, and you could tell like his development. He sharpened his tools, and his craft just looks like it just improved that much more, man.
Love that. I mean, in a couple, I don't have access, but the couple of highlights I have seen, I mean, the way he shot the gap. I mean, he looked like he put on the size, but he still got his athleticism. which is key. So that means it's
Yeah,
good weight.
absolutely.
It's good muscle weight. It's not bad weight. He still looks fast and got his athleticism. And the way he shot that gap and grabbed that run up, I was like, man, like okay,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
man.
He looks
I hope next
incredible.
year we get. I hope next year we get the spring game back. I doubt it. I think that's where college football is moving to, where spring games are just gone now and not being televised with all that. But I mean, it's tough because the spring is for us too, so we can kind of get insights of what the team looked like, but before the fall. But this is the day and age we're in. I wish we could have seen something. You know what I mean? If not the spring
Hey,
game, at least some practice, some one-on-one drills or something. Give us something.
yeah. Well, yeah. I seen something, and I think, man, I'm very excited about him. I'm very excited about this team, man. I think they're gonna do something, man. We'll see
I
how
think I think we're
the.
I think we're a 10 win team. I think we're a 10-11 win team.
I think so too.
And
The hope is, like I said, the number ones, according to multiple reports, the number one offensive line did some phenomenal things and they held their own. However, there appeared to be a drop off in the number twos. But I think
got you.
I think they're practicing against one of the best defensive lines in the country, though.
I mean, and then too, what's the chances of all five number ones being injured? You know what I mean? So we even though
Anthony
it's
Lucas,
even though it's
yeah. Anthony Lucas wasn't even in there. He was there, but he wasn't suited up. So and then to still have these guys be this effective, man, they look crazy, man. They
Yeah,
look crazy.
I'm counting on this defensive line to give offenses problems.
I
Absolutely.
mean,
From what I
but
was
it needs to be
expecting.
like that. But it needs to be like how Jay Watt said, practice was harder than the games back in the day, right? So
Absolutely.
that's where you get better. I think the one thing I was impressed with after spring the most, and I think that was the story I heard somebody tell on Keith where they knocked him down and Keith got up and told him that's all you got.
Yeah.
I think I almost went there to Keith. They said Keith still got it. So you have to answer. That's all you got, huh?
Yeah, they thought I was gonna be dizzy and shaking up. Don't let those gray hairs fool you, bro. I can still take a licking.
Hey, well, Christian, I'm gonna try to do one at a time, man, because sometimes it get
All
way
right, my
too many
brother, you
too
gotta
much
be
traffic.
you gotta be
I'm gonna
blessed.
take a couple of these other ones
Wait,
in real quick.
hold on. Hey, Christian,
Yes, sir.
are you training a singer back there, man? I hear some notes over there trying to hit them good, man.
Nah, that's a 5-month-old yelling he hungry pretty much. That's what they're saying. So let me get the bottle ready.
Keep him at
Uh,
it, man. He go get
all
them
right.
notes yet.
I
Hey,
got
Christian, I appreciate you, family.
All right, my brothers.
All
All
right,
right, Chris.
I'm gonna take this other one.
Right on.
Aaron, how you doing? Hey, Brian, hold on for 1 second. I'm coming. Aaron, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you
What's
making
going
it,
on,
man?
Aaron?
Fantastic. Yeah, just with the spring ball stuff, like I know it kind of sucks that we can't watch spring games because I mean it's kind of nothing to do. But especially with spring, like just being like somebody who's like played before, like they're just throwing reps and reps and reps after these dudes. Like you can't really take anything with a grain of salt. Because I mean, even when you get to the spring game, everything's scripted. The defense should be doing good. If the defense isn't doing good, like we saw in like 2022 in the spring game, it's like you're gonna have a bad year. So if the defense isn't doing good in spring, then I would be worried. But offense looks off. That's perfectly fine. This Lincoln runs that kind of like system where he wants development across the line. So he's gonna be mixing and matching and putting people out of position so they can get cross training. So if the line don't look good, I mean, he's not going to finalize the line probably until like 2 weeks into training camp anyway.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
I mean,
no, I
when it
totally
comes to
agree.
that kind of stuff, I wish we could just watch a game. That would be sweet because I want to see the young players play. But, you know, that's just how it's going to
Well,
be.
I can tell you this: they had one youngster I had my eye on, and Jay can tell you his name because it eludes me, but he
Oh,
was
did
an
it cut
early
out?
enrollee from high school, and
Is it
you
my
know
mic?
he looked pretty good for a freshman. Um, Getting thrown in the mix, taking on the big dogs. Although he did look kind of worried taking on some of them big boys, but he held his own.
Who you referring to, Keith?
The one I asked you about last, he reclassified himself.
Oh, Jakeem Stewart. Yeah.
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 Yeah, he showed a lot of promise. I liked him.
No, I heard he looked good too over the weekend. I heard the whole defense, man. And this is my guy right here. He says the defense will be way more optimistic on the back end and smothering in the front seven. Absolutely. I heard that's exactly what we saw Saturday. Defense usually dominates across the board in the spring for every team. It's sad schools are dropping spring games. Yeah, well, it's a part of it. It is what it is, man. This is the nature of college football now. It's crazy. Aaron, so what else? Overall, what else do you have to? I mean, the common theme right now is defense dominates. Quarterback play. It sounds like man, he felt like he fell off.
Oh wow. Well, another aspect about
right
about cutting off the spring game is that you're saving injuries.
Yeah.
Cutting down injuries. I look at it that way. That's a plus for me.
But they're still playing though. They're still playing. It wasn't like he came back on. I'm gonna get right back to you, Brian. How you doing?
What's going on, Jay? What's going on, Keith?
What's up, Brian?
The word?
Good to see you, man.
You too, my man. Nothing much. I was just tuning into the show. Thanks for having me up. Two quick things I wanted to touch on as far as the defensive line. We just didn't have the depth last season. That was the difference between a lot of our games. Those one possession, two possession games to where we actually had the lead and we couldn't stop the run. You go back and you look at that Penn State game. We couldn't stop the run. The Michigan game, we couldn't stop the run because we didn't have the depth. We didn't have the size up front. Our biggest defensive lineman was Bear, and then he checked out after the Michigan game. So you found Deontay Lynn having to scheme up and cook up a different exotic looks just in order to slow down the running game so Lincoln Riley can get the ball back. So that was the difference between those games on last season. This season it should be different. They beefed up the trenches. These players have gotten better, and from what I understand, they're really gelling together as a team. There's no animosity amongst each other. They're playing together, and when you got a cohesive unit like that, it's going to be hard for any offensive line to maintain pressure, even if you survive, 2 or 3 series. After you come back and you make those adjustments, they're going to pretty much sit down anybody. Now, with the offensive line, I'm concerned about the depth at center. From what I understand, Reed went down. They kind of held him out, but behind him was the walk-on Connor, right? Wasn't that his name?
No. Willie Wisher. He was actually O'Connor.
He was a walk-on, right?
Clarify.
O'Connor played in the bowl game, right? Yeah. But what I'm saying is, he was the one that played in the bowl game when Monahan sit out, right?
He was.
So that would be my only question is, the depth at offensive line, because this right here is going to be a pivotal season for Riley. Everything is going good. You beefed up the support staff. You got a GM. The recruits are signing up. We can't lay an egg this year. 7-6. We just can't do that this year. I remember one year going up to Washington. Keith might remember it. You might too, Jay. Going up to Washington. I want to say it was in 2007, and we lost like 3 or 4 offensive linemen in that game. Just went down. I can't remember whether or not we won that game, but we lost some. No, I think we lost that game to Sark is what it was. We lost that game to Sark, and it was mainly because we couldn't run the ball anymore because our offensive line went down. At least 3 of them went down, and they had to do a lot of shifting. So that would be my only concern. From what I'm hearing, some good things about the secondary. I've been listening to Jay's channel. Conley's coming along. Marcellus Williams is coming along. They're giving some different look with Ramsey. So I'm not concerned about the defense, so much as the offensive line. I think a lot is riding on this season, and we got to make sure that we get it right this time.
The defense is gonna be good, but offensive line, we'll see what happens with that. And I will say this about the running backs. They saw limited action, you know, for whatever reason, they kind of got held out a little bit. So we saw King Miller, as I stated. But this offense, you know, you get Wayman Jordan in there, and you get the regular guys, Brian Jackson and even Eli Sanders. It's no telling. There were a lot of people that were kind of just held out. I think some of the starters, like even receiver, were there in the beginning, but then held out. So I think we see those guys, man. We know how creative Riley can get with everything, man. And I think it's gonna be go time as it relates to that, man. So I think this was just more so, man, and Riley wanted to keep it like that. But Reed did start at center. He started at center. He had the freshman Willie Washer from I believe it's Bellevue, Washington. He played the second string at center. And so that's what we saw with that. So yeah.
And what's the status of Makai Lemon?
I think he's coming off an injury too. I think he is gonna try to work his way back in. I don't think they were trying to.
Who was that, Jay? Who was that?
Lemon. They're not trying to push.
He had a soft tissue injury. He had a hamstring.
Yeah. They're trying to work him back in.
You know, kids like Lemon and Lane, man, you know what they can do. You don't really want to push them and, you know, get them hurt in a meaningless practice or a meaningless spring game. That's the time to really develop your depth in your youth. Now, as far as Longstreet is concerned, I would give him some plays in those 2 preseason games. You
gotta have packages. Yeah,
I will give him some in those games, but I would not burn his red shirt unless absolutely necessary. Meaning that I think this the Hewitt kid can come in and in case of an emergency. But Longstreet, I would give him some burn in those first 2 preseason games we got. Other than that, man, if this offense is humming along, man, if that run game, and that's another thing. If Riley wants to help out Miami this year, run the ball. Run it.
Yeah,
I understand he's a quarterback guru.
Yeah, we saw that last year, man. And I really believe Coach Riley, I really believe that he's turning a new leaf, man, as relates to that, and be more consistent with the running. Yeah, we ran quite well last year, but we could have continued to put the foot on the gas.
Yeah, I understand, you know, he's the quarterback guru. I get it. But sometimes, you know, when you don't have that talent that you're used to having behind that cylinder, you gotta help your quarterback out, especially when you bring him in at the end of the season like that. Last year, Marshawn Lloyd could have ran more than what he ran. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
This year, he could have given that ball to Woody a lot more than what he gave the ball to Woody. You got to help out, you know, your quarterbacks, especially when, you know, you're getting 5-6 yards apart and we decide to throw the ball on 2nd and 2. No, you run it until they stop it. You run the ball until they stop it. It's going to be times where they're going to load the box up and you're not going to be able to run. But that's when you go to your pass. But in a conference like this, hey, look, you're going to have to run that ball, man, to weaken up that defensive line and to slow down those edge rushers. Once you get that accomplished, then you come out. If you want to light them on fire that way, you know, pass the ball, then you do that. But you're going to have to adapt to the conference that we're in. And it's going to call for running the ball, especially when you see teams like physical teams are going to be like your Iowas and your Penn States, where they're going to run the ball. You have to counter it too. You have to run the ball yourself and keep the ball away from them.
Absolutely.
We had opportunity, man. I mean, we those were what you call self-inflicted wounds. I gotta take this other call too. I'm coming, man. Self-inflicted wounds last year, man. We could have like we were. I don't know of another team that was up the way we were up and just really gave the game away. Really,
a lot of you know. I count at least 3 games that we gave away, Jake, because we didn't run the ball. At least I know that Maryland game we gave it away because we didn't run the ball. That Penn State we gave it away because we didn't run the ball, and that Minnesota game we gave it away because we refused to run the ball. Yeah. So you got a bell cow in Jackson. You got the other kid that transferred in, man. Let them. You know they're getting paid now. Let them earn their keep. Let them earn it now. They're getting paid. Let them earn it. Run the ball.
Well, Brian, I got to take a couple more of these calls before I shut it down, man. I appreciate
you, bro. I appreciate this.
Hey, Brian, I'm gonna get these lives kicked back off, man.
Okay, cool.
I've been lost in the workshops, man.
All right, my man. Y'all take it easy.
Okay.
All right, brother, take it
All right. Let's get. Oh man, he dropped. Oh no, there he is. Aaron,
Hey, what's good, man? Y'all can actually hear and see me now?
I can hear you. Yep.
Sweet,
Hey,
sweet,
what's
sweet.
going on,
Hey,
Aaron?
hey, man. Look, I'm telling you right now with the spring game, like I know, especially when you're hearing like the young dudes, like they're getting their chance. There's so many key positions right now, especially with the backups, like across the offensive line. That third string receiver. I mean, there's probably like a 4 or 5 way battle going for that right now. I'd love to see Walker Lyons. Really, honestly, you want to see Walker Lyons take the starting job from Lake McCree. At this point, you're getting all the spring. Lake is a Trojan through and through, but this is kind of the development. I think that'll help with his brother's recruitment as well. But
Yeah.
Walker is he should be taking that next step, and Lake should be our backup just based on development alone. Because especially if we
Yeah.
want to get a Mark Bowman, stuff like that, we want to see our second year tight ends, Walter Matthews, and I know Joey Ocean. Yeah, Joey Ocean had a little bit of an injury, so he's cleaning that up. But that tight end room got to get working, and I think it starts with Walker, and then I would love to see Walter jump ahead as well. But whenever we have the defense playing that the way they're doing, those it's just like Elijah Page all over again. We got our true
Yeah.
freshmen, we got our redshirt freshmen, our true sophomores back there on that O line. They're just gonna get their teeth kicked, man, and it has to happen. And that's a great D line to be going against. I mean, a lot of those dudes are SEC starters. You're getting the real deal. If you get up to snuff, then you're gonna have to keep working until you get up there. So I think I think what they're doing, especially based upon the reps that you guys are saying that it happened, especially with the young people, like that needs to happen. Like they need to get through that fire, and then that'll make them better in the long run. Like what we're doing with Chad Bowden, where he's trying to bring 3 to 4 year developmental. He's trying to develop kids again, because I feel like that's kind of like a lost thing across college football. He's trying to develop them, and if you stick through this fire and you get that starting job, you're gonna know it's because you earned it, because you went through all the trials and tribulations, and you developed, you took to your craft, and then you're gonna do great. I mean, look at Elijah Page. Me personally, I'm a huge Tobias Raymond fan. um, and then I love Justin Tanau. I mean, he was a. I mean, you look at all these star rankings; these are like 3-star dudes, and then like they just come in the bowl game against Texas A&M, and they're just doing stuff like that. Tobias versus Michigan, like he held his own. He got beat a couple times, but redshirt freshman. But I love what we're doing. Me personally, I feel like we should give because I know we all like to talk about quarterbacks. Hassan Longstreet, to be honest, in this day and age, and plus the dudes that we're going to try to bring in behind him, I'm probably not worried about a red shirt. You get 5 games basically to where you get to play. You get 4 before you red shirt, and then the bowl game doesn't count against your red shirt either. So you can technically play 5 games if you need to. So I say if there's situations where we are like, hey, we really need this quarterback to keep the ball, give him the Damon Williams treatment that happened in Washington, give him the Archie Manning treatment that happened last year in Texas. It's short yardage. You need that read option to keep that defensive end. Make that defensive end be the dude who tells who gets to keep the ball. Like I'm all about
Yeah.
Hassan Longstreet getting on that edge, because that dude can run. He
Yeah.
might not be like that shake and bake Caleb Williams, but linear speed, like he got it.
Yeah. Let me hey Sam, how you doing? Hey Sam, can you hit that link, man? I heard your son did a great job coming into the secondary over the weekend. I heard he did a real good job, as a matter of fact. And it wasn't until I saw your name till I just remembered that. That was part of my notes that I didn't have written down, but I did hear your son did a phenomenal job over the weekend, man. Marquise Gallegos. He looks like he's got the weight, he's got the size, and it's straight up go time with him. I appreciate you, Aaron, man. Let me
I'm
take
not
this
gonna
other
lie.
call real quick, but I definitely appreciate you coming in.
That
All
kid's
right,
good,
Aaron.
man. All right, see ya.
All right, my man. Stefan.
What's going on, fellas? You fight on, fellas. What's going on with you?
Man,
All right,
long time no hear, man.
I know, man. I know. That's why I had to tap in with you real quick, man. I had to, come in and see how everything was going. I've been out of sight, out of mind.
Hey, are you saying you was lost in the sauce, man?
Man, I was lost in the sauce, man. I'm trying to get caught up on everything. You know what I mean?
Hey, I think you're gonna be happy, bro. I think you're gonna be happy, man, with the product we get ready to put on the field. A little more, we look a little bit more like a Big Ten team, if I
Yeah,
can say that.
we got
Yeah.
to bring it home this year, man. Hopefully we can, we can just make it to the playoffs and go from there, man. You know, I hope Jaden Maiava, he ready for this season, man. Because what do you think about what the all? I did hear about the talk about Nico before he went over to UCLA. So you didn't really think that was a good fit for us, huh? That would have messed the locker room up. I kind of think I heard you say something like that.
No, well, I didn't say mess the locker room up, but
Okay.
I did say when you look at the numbers overall, you know, I just felt like he might require a bag, you know, a big bag.
Oh, okay, right.
But I'm not sure if he got that at UCLA. I think I heard maybe 900,000 or something like that. I don't know if that's accurate or not. But I think Jaden Maiava, honestly, bro, I think he's just look at Nico. He put up 2,100 yards last year.
Right.
Jaden Maiava, well, I think it's 2,500 yards. But he played, 12 games? Whereas Jaden Maiava played only 4 games, had the 1,300 yards or whatever. And I just think it's a couple things that he needs to clean up, man. I really believe, Lincoln Riley alluded to that as well. I believe that Jaden Maiava, look, if we get the quarterback from the second half of the Texas A&M game, Jaden Maiava, not the first half, but the second half, I believe that he's going to be an effective quarterback. And the quarterback that we saw for most of the Notre Dame game, if we get that guy and not the guy that we've seen in the first half of the Texas A&M game, I truly believe this with all my heart. You guys can mark it down that he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks. He could be a Heisman contender if he play like that. Do you remember how he was slicing up Texas A&M?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes.
We just need that for a full half. That's all we need.
Right. Hey, I wanted to ask y'all too. I know this not USC business, but about this NFL draft, how they did that boy Shador, man. I'm kind of shaking my head at the NFL right now. I feel like they kind of being petty or whatever, you know what I mean? And the way the Sanders family carried itself, and it's like we gonna try to prove something to y'all, like y'all, you know what I mean? Like y'all ain't bigger than the program type of thing, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? But
I think they were trying to, and Keith, you can answer this too, but I think they were trying to prove a point. I think that Eli Manning did the same thing that
fifth round, and you got. Oh, go ahead, Keith. I'm sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
It's a numbers game. It's politics. It's all that, and you put all your trust into that league, and it's full of surprises, and that's all I can tell you about it. You know, I can't say
it's
no
laughable
more.
though.
Yeah,
but you know, I'm gonna be honest though, Keith. Like that quarterback from Louisville, he has no business getting picked over Jaden Maiava. I mean, not Jaden Maiava.
Shador.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. But then you had a bunch of Jackson Dart. I'm a Jackson Dart guy, so I'm not even going. I think Jackson Dart. I think he's just as good.
I never said they were brilliant. They do some of the weirdest things there, bro.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, did he go in the 4th round or the 5th round?
Shador went in the 5th round. He went in the 5th round. That's, come on now. I thought at least they was gonna give him the second day.
44th pick at that.
So he ain't even got nothing guaranteed. So basically, it's like, you know, if they really want to kind of be on some, you know, a-hole type stuff, excuse my language, but, you know, they could really kind of like mess with him like, you ain't good enough. You know what I mean? Kind of like, I just, now it's like, he going to put the work in regardless. Look who his dad is. But is they going to give him a fair chance?
Well, I think the draft with Dylan Gabriel was kind of weird too, though.
Right.
Listen. Me personally, from 1 to 3, you're somewhat protected. And anything under that, you ain't no different than a free agent, bro.
No, that's
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping they give him a fair chance, man, because the boy can ball.
Hey, you could be gone for looking funny in your uniform and not even touch the field.
Yeah. Like you said, USCJ, like even with the Dylan Gabriel thing, that was kind of weird. I'm like, huh? You know, and I thought Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin then was going to, you know, go grab him after they got that boy Harmon from Oregon.
That was a surprising, but I'm not even going because we
Right,
you know,
right, right.
man, you know, I'm saying, I'm not even going. Yeah, bro, that was.
Right, right.
I'm not gonna get into that, bro.
Y'all better understand the Billionaires Club, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
crazy.
I call them the powers that be. But I ain't want to hold y'all too long, fellas, man. I just want to tap in with y'all and hopefully I can catch up with you again, USCJ, and keep all, man, fight on, guys. I love y'all, man. Love what y'all doing.
Likewise,
Well, man.
family.
Oh,
Hey,
all
fight on,
right.
big dog. Good hearing from you again, though.
Oh, most definitely.
All right,
All right, brother.
Leon, what's up, big dog?
USCJ, KB, what's happening, man?
What's going on,
Man, you
baby?
sound like you under the weather, man.
Nah, I'm being quiet, man. I just put my daughters down. That's why I
Okay,
wasn't on the
okay.
beginning of the show. So
Oh, no problem, no
Okay.
problem.
yeah, man. All the news coming out of the spring game, the Saturday stuff, man. It sounds real good, real positive for the Trojans, man. And I was just what my man was saying. I think it was 2 calls ago. USC priority, whatever.
Yeah,
I would like to see the young tight end step up. You know, I was watching one of the clips. I think I commented on Twitter about this. They show it was in the Cam Fountain highlights where he just put Lake McCree in the backfield with ease, and you could see
man.
that he wasn't
Yeah,
right. So I think it's time for Walter Matthews, Joey Olsen, and Walker Lyons to step up. You know what I'm saying? Younger talent, a little bit quicker, maybe not as good of a blocker as Lake, but it's time for them to step up and give them their just due and see if they can step up and lead that tight end room, man.
Well, it's
I think.
all about
Go ahead.
consistency. It's all about consistency. You know, you can be a great pass blocker and lacking catching, or you can be slacking in blocking, but you're consistent in getting us that first down. So you got to look at different aspects of the game and the player and their tendencies and their personality. So you may be a favorite with one person, you may not be a favorite with another, but you got to look at consistency.
Yes. And it's funny every time I listen to the players either on offense or defense when they're interviewing them after the Tuesday and Thursday class, every player talked about consistency, being more consistent, being in there every play, giving their best every play, and whatever they're doing. So you're absolutely right.
Man,
You,
and I barely watch any of that stuff, and I already know.
Absolutely.
you guys were
Hey,
just
Leon, real quick to your point. That was part of the dominance when you talk about the clip from Cam Fountain. I've seen a couple of clips like that, man. Like our defensive line just seems to be, they are just different, man. And it's not just against them going up against our line. I just think they're gonna be like that with everybody, man. They just that impactful. They that weight wise, everything, man. They just look like the total package.
and the fact is it's a lot of the guys on the team, it's their second year in the defense, a lot less thinking, a lot just more instinctual. They're stronger, they're bigger, you know what I'm saying? They can just be more physical and just play and not think, you know what I'm saying? So I'm with that.
Absolutely.
You guys were just touching on the Shador thing real quick. You know what I mean? I was listening to somebody today and they were saying it's not about where you're picked. It's about what you do with it once you get there. And I know we're all a little bit upset about how the NFL did him and everything, but you know he's a hard worker. If he's given a chance, I think he'll be successful. But you know something, I'm gonna bring up a little controversial here. Kaepernick said a long time ago that the league be colluding, and ain't nobody want to step up. And now they're colluding again, and we're seeing the negative effects of that stuff, man. So you know, it is what it is. But I'm pretty sure that Shador will be all right, and he'll set the if he works hard and gets the opportunity, I'm sure he'll be just fine.
Well,
No, no doubt, no doubt.
I'm gonna say this again. It's a numbers game, and he's thankful that he's in now. There's how many teams out there in the NFL, bro?
32.
And how many players are allowed on the field? I mean, on the field, but on the roster,
50 something, right?
59, I
55,
think.
55.
something like that. So
Yeah.
you got 100 guys in camp completely. Think about all those guys who are in college football that didn't make it into camp, and there's only 4,500 spots to get into camp to even try to make the team. So don't complain about where he is as long as he's there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good.
That's what I was saying. If he's given a chance, you know.
Yeah.
But
as long as you in the gate. Think about all those brothers who didn't get in the gate, who was expected to get in the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm not tripping about where he is or what position he's in, as long as he's in.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Well, Leon, man, I think you're gonna be the last one, man. And I'm gonna just read some of these comments. But Leon, I definitely appreciate, man. It's been a minute. I've been lost in the sauce, but man, we gonna try to get it kicked back off, man, at least once a week. Provided the schedule be right. You know how it is, man. Life gets life. It gets rough, but yeah.
I know, man. I'll be looking for the lives. I'm like, yo, where my boy at? But man, I had to hit him, man, see what's going on.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Listen, y'all have a great evening, man, and fight on.
All right, big dog. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Fight on.
We'll talk to you some
Let
more.
me get to some of these comments before I get out of here. Hey, Stephen, Stephen, fight on. Jake, fight on. Hugo, thank you, man. Fight on. Finally off work, getting the chance to catch up live. Hey, man, I really appreciate you coming on. We got between Twitter and let me take a picture of this. Twitter and YouTube, rather. We got 675 people in here right now. We tag teaming them right now.
Glad y'all
Jay,
in here, man. Welcome in here.
Forget Shador, he wasn't. Man, listen, we talking football, big dog. But I get what you're saying. We talking Trojan football, but we are on the whole thing. Tiffany,
That's a Trojan right there.
Yeah, that's right. I'm hoping it waited on a specific defensive commitment. Yeah, we need all the defense. I heard it's two maybe possibly coming. I'm waiting on top. Oh yeah, him too. But you guys know he was crystal ball. He was just crystal ball to us.
Oh yeah. So when is he supposed to make his announcement?
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But we got the crystal ball. You guys know for Pepe as well. So yeah. So we good to go, man. So look, hour and 2 minutes. I think that's a wrap. We pretty much covered it all, man. So. Big Keith, I appreciate you coming on here with me tonight.
Oh, man, no problem, man. I love coming in here talking to my Trojan brothers, man.
Absolutely. Hold on. Let me see. There was one question I got to go back to real quick. It's this one. It says, how has the entire 2025 class in school already? No. You guys know I was supposed to have Ramiro Eisen on tonight, but he couldn't make it. He's a part of that 2025 class. He graduates from high school, I think, in May. I had Talanoa Ely on here. You guys remember he's from Las Vegas, linebacker, and also Ramiro. Not Ramiro. He was on my show. I'm ashamed to even forget that quick. My mind went the defensive end. I can't even believe I got selective amnesia right now. Anyway, out of Texas. Texas. Yeah, he was on here as well. Both of those guys, all three of those guys will be here in May, as well as Harry Dalton, a running back out of Virginia. I cannot believe I can't even think of. My mind went blank. And so I think, and Tanuk Hines as well out of Texas. He will be here as well in May. All of those guys, man. So we can expect, we got some more firepower coming. And I think that may be it. I think. So look, Keith, I'm out of here, man. Trojan family, I'm out of here, man. Until later on, listen, everybody stay blessed, man. We will continue to give you any type of breaking news. We expect the commitments this week. So look, until later on, Big Keith.
Yes, sir.
Fight on.
Fight on, Trojans.